guys. It's
Hello.
Joe and Matt with VMP's Tuning Tuesday,
Hello.
Season 3, Episode 22. Yeah, we're here to do the thing, answer questions.
All the questions.
Hopefully you guys brought some good questions for us this week.
All the questions. They did.
Hopefully not repeat questions, but if it's repeat questions, I will probably answer them for you.
I will probably answer them for you.
We're already enhanced and everything. Dan, hello Dan.
Hello.
Dan Adam.
What did you do this weekend?
The most notable thing is I bought my first GM. And
Oh, that's right, you did.
Yep. Bought a 05 GTO from a friend.
I know, I already tried to sell it for you.
Yep.
I was trying to sell it to my friend Ken because he was looking at that other one that made like 1,000 on pump gas, on natural aspirated all motor. Yeah. So, see, Ken's got that money though. He cannot hide it. Just so if you need to sell it, let him know.
Okay. Okay.
So, but anyway.
Yeah, I'll do some fixing up on it, get it running the way I want it to with a file that doesn't look like complete ass, and then we'll go from there.
You got it.
And then Ian says Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday it is, Tuning Tuesday.
It is Tuning Tuesday.
How about you?
I looked at.
Matt's been on a mad hunt for
I've been on a boat mission for 3 weeks.
So if anyone knows of any good boats.
Oh no, I found one. I just got done fist fighting my bank for 2 days, but oh man.
Exactly.
So I found one, and I'm gonna go get it this afternoon.
Nice.
And we're gonna go. Well, I'm gonna go look at it this afternoon, and then I'm gonna bring along some water and throw it out there and see if it floats. And
gotta do that. That is key.
And I don't know. It'll be the VMP cruise vessel.
Well, I and the viewers wish you luck in your boat hunting expedition.
Yeah. Something we can do with the family, hopefully, and the kids don't just, unfortunately, I've shoved racing down their throat for so long, they just don't care. If I said racing was canceled, they wouldn't care.
I was going to ask, like, do they care about fishing either? Because I was that kid. I didn't care
I
about
hate
racing,
fishing.
hunting.
I don't give,
Oh, you just
I
wanna go on
hate
the
fishing.
boat.
I want to go on the, well, we rent boats all the time. We rent boats all the time, and it's got to the point where we feel that we spend a lot of money on renting the boat. Let's go buy a boat, then we can take it all the time, and then we can go anywhere we want. We can take it here, we can take it there. So I feel like it can't be any different than a race car.
Yeah.
It can't be any worse than a race car. So that's what
Especially your experience with race
especially
cars.
my experience with race cars. So so that's where we're on now, and we'll see. And I want to take them out there and hit sandbars and go tubing and just kind of do the thing. I mean, Ariana's going to be 15, so I figure I've got a year before I hate her, and then
might as well make it a good one.
You might as well make it a good one.
We got Dan. Hey guys, 2012 GT500. I'm getting a VMP Gen 2R with a 2.4 upper, Boostane tune, and C16 tune. Which spark plug and what gap? Car currently has TR6 plugs. Run a TR7.
Yep.
I think it's 3690 plug.
Yes. Wait. Yes. Yes. BR70F. Non-projected tip 7.
And then
Make sure you get the resistor one. I learned that one the hard way too.
Uh-oh.
They don't like non-resistor plugs.
Nope. Then we got gap. If it's a BR70F, as they come, gap stock, you should be good, because I think those come at 28.
Actually, I think it's a little close. I think it's 26.
Okay.
So
So
I usually tell people buy them and
BR70F.
toss them in, but at the same time, you're going to get the one that...
It doesn't hurt to check them,
Yes,
but I don't anticipate you needing to actually gap them.
There's always the one that bounced around between here and Japan,
Yep.
and yeah. So
We got Eric Mustang, first drive with the Gen 3R Secret Sauce tonight. Awesome. Excited for you. Should enjoy it. The Leech got one for you. Oh, the Leech got one for you. So I just picked up a twin 69 throttle body going on my 17 Mustang with a Roush TVS PMOS intake using HP tuners. What are your thoughts on initial settings for the throttle body? My thoughts are, make sure you got the right harness. If you currently have a Roush TVS Supercharger Mustang, we make a reverse Y harness to convert it back to a stock electronics, unless you got a twin 69G, in which case it should plug right in. But if you got a twin 69F, it will not. In regards to initial settings, the stock twin 60 settings should be fine to run the throttle body. If you got the -F series, you need to change the TPS sensor slopes. And Slab Shack rec orders, Jason Alex. I just tuned in. Did I hear Joe is Coyote swapping a GTO?
Nope.
Classic.
Nope, he's just fixing it up and selling it to Ken. Mr. Ken can't hide it.
Yeah. I've thought about doing a Coyote swapped Caprice or G8, but I don't think that'll actually happen. It's just one of those fun things to think about. Oh, God.
Here they come.
We'll comment on that one later. Rick Glover, any big Odin installs done on an F-150 yet? We've had quite a few Odin F-150 installs. None of them have pushed them to the level of like E85 or going crazy with them yet. Most of them are 10 to 11 pounds on 93.
I know, it makes me sad.
It's okay. There will be one coming from Manuel Gomez here soon, though.
I wish we had these just 6 months before. Mario did that one that was like sleeved motor, built all the things, fuel system, E85, and he turboed it because there wasn't anything else at the time. So I wish we could have had something a little bit earlier, and that would have been the truck to put it on. Like short bed, standard cab.
I got one
all
of those.
Of it.
I know a guy. Jeff Scarland, I live race in elevation 8500 plus DA.
Wow.
Thinking of supercharging my 19F50 F-150. Am I more in need of a larger Odin spec throttle body versus stocker in my case, or is it more of a waste for me?
Can we point out the fact that at 8,500 feet, it's now making the same power with a blower that it does on the ground?
Yeah, at elevations that high,
wow.
Superchargers are great, turbos are better.
Yeah.
Just size it to where you don't have to worry about crazy turbo speeds to achieve the sort of pressure you're wanting to run. But if you wanted to go supercharger and you wanted to get an Odin, bigger would be better in a situation like that because you want to reduce the inlet restriction as much as possible because you already don't have a lot of air trying to force itself into the inlet to begin with.
So the blower has to work even harder.
Yep.
So, Christopher Wade, Matt, will the boat run longer than your Mustang?
I hope it does.
Well, I was going to say, if I go to homie's house and I start it and it runs, it's already beat the Mustang for the past 5 years.
Oh, sad. We got Brad Miser. What rear diff, traction bars, and gear ratio should I install my 18 Odin with 35-inch tires? I want to go fast in the quarter and still reasonable on interstate for short trips. I think I responded to your email. If I didn't, I'll respond to it. I believe I told you that if you don't have a 9 3/4 rear end and you're wanting to do stupid stuff in the quarter, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do that. Traction bars, go with Caltrax or VAS. Gear ratio, since you're on 35s, as high as the 373 would be okay, but I'd be more comfortable with 355. Ian Guthrie, do you guys know if it's possible to pull diff temp data from the CAN bus and send to a gauge? Right now, the only way I can view diff temp is via ForeScan on my phone. I have a 17 GT with performance pack. So in theory, if you have the CAN address for the diff temp data, you can program something that can read a CAN stream to spit out the data from that CAN address. So if you did something like an Aeroforce interceptor, you could probably do diff temp on that if it's not currently configured. If you can find out the hex address for it, they can configure it so that it comes up.
The fact that you're watching it on ForeScan means you're ahead of the curve already.
Mm-hmm.
So
it doesn't tell you the hex address in ForeScan, but it exists, therefore you can find it.
Yeah. If you're doing is he doing road race stuff, I assume? He's trying to see differential temp?
Probably.
I can't see anyone else on the planet that would care what their differential temp is.
Yeah, I agree. The leech.
Got the right
harness. Perfect. Yep. Then just start with stock Twin 60 data. The car should start, run, and drive just fine on that. Mad Max, thank you again, Joe, for being there for me every time I have a problem. Best service ever. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
That's Max Andreeve. I believe he's from Canada. Don't be offended if you're not from Canada, but I believe you're from Canada.
Do his emails smell like syrup?
Nope. Daily performance. Car is currently getting dynoed 88 millimeter pulley, made 740 wheel horsepower, and 85 millimeter pulley, made 765 rear horsepower. I have some logs for you, Matt.
Nice.
Sick.
Nice. Oh, I was looking at them the other day. Yeah.
Pedro Alvarado. What's the lowest power blower you have for a Gen 1 Coyote? A blower without a belt.
Yeah. I think the biggest we make is we make a 90, don't we? 90?
We make a
91?
92 millimeter
92.
pulley. Yeah. So you would, if you wanted to make the least amount of power possible, which is, no offense, stupid. If you wanted to make the lowest amount of power possible, a 92 millimeter pulley on a Gen 2R.
If you want to make the lowest amount possible, put a 671 on it.
If you want to make the lowest amount possible with a blower, don't install the blower. I understand that you're probably scared because you have a Gen 1, you're worried about durability. In my experience, those things around 600 to 630 wheel on 93 octane are very reliable.
There is that very niche crowd, though, that wants it just for the appearance.
Yeah.
There is that crowd. They do exist.
Then we can provide you with a blower that appears to look like a blower.
You just got the case?
Yeah. Travis shot at Joe, but what about a Coyote Swap Fit Gen Camaro? I think that's already been done.
I feel like somebody started it. It was a royal pain because the Coyote is so much wider. I feel like I saw pictures of someone doing it. I don't know if it ever got done.
So did I. And I think there was also a Coyote Swap Corvette going around for a little while.
I never got confirmation that that was real or not, because there's a lot of people that said it was photoshopped. So I never verified if that was real or not.
We will see. Stu Boyce dropping from an 82 millimeter to a 73 millimeter, 2016 GT TVS on E85. Do you want to see an order for tune update or let her eat? Being that you're dropping, I assume you meant 72 millimeter pulley. Being that you're dropping 10 millimeters in pulley size, it'd probably be a good idea to take a look at the tune file, make sure timing is going to be where we want it to be on that setup, and then take a look at some logs. So I'd order a tune update. Yeah. M. Jaren 88. You guys doing any tuning on the 0304 Terminators, which includes data logging and remote tuning if possible? We do.
Every day.
Every single day.
I just did one about 2 hours ago.
Yep.
So
Jeff Scarland, is E85 any easier on catalytic converters compared to gasoline and boosted applications?
Yes.
Yeah.
It burns colder, EGTs are lower, and it has less overall hydrocarbons to clog the damn things. So yes, they are much easier on cats.
Yep, and when you do clog a cat, although it's still possible to kill an engine on E85,
yes,
it will help keep it alive
Correct.
For a bit longer.
Frederick Massey, he's actually my guy. So I'm having issues with idle. I haven't heard from him in a bit. So I'm having issues with idle still on my F1A 4-valve smoke test motor. Couldn't find any leaks. Is there a way I can check the MAF? Would it be okay to use an 05 stock MAF to see if mine is working? It's leaning out while driving, and the fuel pressure regulator is 39 psi idling.
Or it's leaning out while idling, and the fuel regulator is at 39 psi.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I'd say
I had him a while ago. Yeah, I had him a while ago. I don't remember where we left off on that. I'd say get me another log of where it's at currently. Oh, he's gonna go searching. I don't remember where we left off.
I'll just kill that part. May 18th.
That's where we left off. I was trying to get some watt logs, and it looked like it wasn't, the pedal wasn't at full throttle. Like he had a bunch of floor mats underneath it or something like that.
That doesn't help.
So yeah, I wasn't done. I remember not being done with it.
Yeah, so if you can, try and shoot us those logs we were asking about, and we can see if we can see anything in the data that indicates why you're having the weird lean stuff at idle.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was okay. It might be a case of, because that's still in closed loop, so it might be a case of maybe the O2 sensors are
switching.
Switching improperly, and it might be pulling fuel out with the fuel trims.
Yeah,
especially because it's an E85 car.
Yeah,
something like that.
Travis Schott, Stu Boyce, whenever changing pulley sizes, you should always get a tune update because there's a lot more boost being made, and there are tuning changes to be made, have to account for everything done. Not wrong, Travis. I appreciate you trying to help out. There are some cases where changing a pulley is acceptable, but kind of like what he did, he really needs to reach out to the tuner when he's changing pulley size to see what the tuner would like to see done. Corey, you got this one.
Clyburn?
Corey Clyburn.
Corey Clyburn. Sorry, Corey. Does the Odin or the Gen 3R have better IATs compared to one or another? Ooh. We've never checked both of them on the same car because...
Not on the same car, but we have run them at the same boost on two different cars.
We have run them at the same boost on 2 different cars, and I do believe the Odin has better IATs.
Odin has better IATs.
Odin's IATs are quite incredible. It's... The IATs on Odin are almost like where you're going, is this thing broken? Is this working? You're tapping on the IAT sensor because it's not moving, and you're like, hey, you working? Hello? Oh, okay, it did move a degree. It's all right. So yeah, to answer your question, the Odin has far superior, not that the Gen 3R is bad by any means, it's just the Odin has far superior cooling ability.
Yeah. Paul Bredston, hey guys, great episode with Catless. Mid-pipes, can you do anything to keep the check engine lights off? In the tune file, we can't do anything to keep the check engine light off. That's part of our tune order form and our tuning disclaimer. We don't shut off emissions-related check engine lights. There's stuff that you as a person can do on your own, but I can't tell you what that stuff is.
Yeah.
Mark...
Because that would make you a felon.
An accessory.
Is it a felony? It's not a felony, is it?
Accessory.
Is it a felony?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Mark...
It is federal, but I don't know if it's a felony.
Mark Maduris. I have a Super Cobra Jet monoblade on my 2011 Shelby. The car drives good when the car is cool, but once it gets hot, my throttle body starts to stick and sets off codes.
Yep.
Would this be a tune issue or throttle body issue? So you kind of said it yourself when
Throttle
you said
body.
when it gets hot, my throttle body starts to stick, it sets off codes.
That's definitely a throttle body issue.
Typically, that's a throttle body issue.
If you tap it with a hammer and it starts changing how it idles, you know it's done.
It's like, uh-oh.
Matt needs a haircut. Yeah, I do.
Yep, we all do.
It's getting about that time. Sam is my haircut. He keeps track, and he lets me know when it's time for a haircut. I should go to Sam for a haircut.
That's probably what you should do.
We should make an episode of it.
We got Brian Mockeridge. At what horsepower would you start to open a 07 GT500 motor and do the internals? So usually depends on the fuel. If you're talking about E85 and you're talking about an engine that's making decent boost, I'd say around 750, 800 wheel is where I'd consider doing a set of rods and pistons. Below that level, I'm not sure I'd worry about it too much as long as you're on a good quality fuel. Garrett Shaw, thanks for the heads, Matt. Definitely helped out, especially cutting the wait time for those for our builds.
Yeah, you're going to like those. I have a lot of money into those heads, and I kind of cried a little bit, but I don't have any use for them now. So I started adding up. I've got like $6 or $7 grand into those heads.
He's saving time too.
They're going to treat him well.
Awesome. And M. Jaren 88. So I still have the SET-X4. Is that okay to data log with my 03 or 4 Cobra with a VMP? Yeah, that's fine. If you were to be tuned by us remote, we'd like to see an analog cable hooked up to a wideband. We have a package to get that done on the website. It's called a Narrowband Tuner's Kit, if I recall correctly. If that's not it, one of the sales guys can get you hooked up with a part number for that. But it includes the analog cable you need to hook the wideband up to the SET device. And that allows us to see the wideband signal directly in the data log file. Corey Schuett, who's ready to tune the Gen 3R on my 04 Cobra when they ship? It would probably be me, Matt, or Mike. Michelle could do it.
She can do it.
But she's
I like throwing her to the
more
wolves.
Comfortable.
I like throwing her to the wolves, and then she's like, The thing about her, not the problem. The thing about her is she's right 99% of the time.
She's just cautious.
She's just afraid of. She's like she doesn't want to get. Not afraid. She's not confident in herself.
She gets anxious.
Yeah.
Frederick Massey, okie dokie. I'll give you a call later today, Matt.
Excellent.
Garrett Shaw, thanks for the heads. Same one from before.
Yeah.
And then Mike Moore, watched the Odin install video last night, getting excited for my install this weekend. Will the stock 2018 fuel pump with the pump booster and the FIC 1000 support E85? Everybody else wants secret sauce. I want the Joe Juice.
The Joe Juice.
Ooh.
Ooh. Does it have a hint of promised land?
It definitely does. It definitely does.
Ain't no stopping.
The 2018 factory fuel pump
amount.
with a booster will not support E85. I've seen people run DW400 pumps and limp it along with a fuel pump booster, but in my opinion, running a
You need a
actual
fuel system.
return fuel system is really your best bet.
Correct.
Brad
Brad
Miser.
Miser, 9 3/4 versus 8 rear end difference in F-150.
Bigger ring gear.
About 0.55.
I'm going point.
About this much.
Yeah, exactly.
About this much.
About this many. Yeah, it's a larger ring gear. It's stronger.
I was talking
That's
radius, but whatever.
That's the summary. I feel you. I feel you. Brian Mockerledge, E85, 775
Nice.
horsepower now. So yeah, I'd consider at least putting together a rotating assembly that you could pull the engine out and have it put in, or buying a core like 3-valve short block or something and having that built so that you can pull your engine out, slap the heads on with new head gaskets and head studs and stuff, and throw it back together.
Sam, I have clippers and a pink child's barbecue cape for you. Let's do it. Christ, I feel like all we're missing from that episode is Cletus
Yep.
doing burnout. So, all right. So we get in the back of Cletus's. Is it the Crown Vic? Is that what he's got? What's that?
He's
thing?
got a Crown Vic with our Supercharger.
Yeah.
yes.
So we sit in the back of the Crown Vic, and then Sam has to give me a haircut
while
while
is
Cletus is doing donuts in the Crown Vic,
It's
and I'm
perfect.
gonna come out bleeding.
Matt, Matt's gonna die.
And I'm gonna end it.
Just pour one out for me, Brian.
We got Lewis. When IET is getting high, timing is pulled, but don't less timing produce higher combustion temps, so it kind of adds into the problem, right? Not necessarily, in the sense that it's not really adding into the problem. What it's doing is trying to prevent spark retard, or it's trying to prevent knock by pulling spark out, because as your IATs become higher, the amount of timing the air fuel charge will tolerate becomes less, especially if you're talking a 93 pump gas or 91 or 87 or standard gasoline-based fuels with low octane levels.
Dang old hydrocarbons.
You got dang old hydrocarbons. So reducing timing does typically increase EGTs and therefore combustion temps, but it's not something that it's not worth pulling IATs for, because IATs solve the problem of before the combustion event happens, and the EGTs are just dealt with after the fact. Janssen 5.0, Comp Cam Stage 3 NA for a Gen 1, do they need lockouts? Any benefit to nothing limiters if it's safe to do so?
No, they do not need lockouts.
Yeah.
The only time lockouts are ever really needed is if you're going extremely radical on camshaft, or you're going radical on valve springs and the springs are too stiff for the phasers to work properly.
Or you're trying to run a set of cams without a tune to account for the limited phasing they need.
Correct.
Frederick Massey, with all the new regulation, should I put my EGR stuff back on? And sorry, with COVID, 2 small kids, and trying to work from home, I didn't have time to get back to you, Matt.
Oh, we get
I'm
it, trust me,
trying
man.
Yeah, we definitely get it.
We get it.
Wasn't that the guy that was talking? No, he was talking about 9604 car with an F1A
Yes.
or a 3-valve. I think it was a 9604.
It's not going to make a difference one way or another. That's not your problem.
Yeah, so the
especially on an F1A
regulations
car.
they don't really levy the regulations against the end consumer so much unless you have local emissions testing. We just can't do anything to turn the codes off as a retailer / parts seller.
Correct.
And John Smith.
John Smith Michelle is the bomb.
Yeah, she's our girl in there. She gets shit done. Pedro
She's the
Alvarado.
gatekeeper.
She is the gatekeeper. Pedro Alvarado, thank you. That's exactly what I meant towards reliability and longevity. The Gen 2R with 92 millimeters sounds perfect. Once again, thank you. No problem, man. Elmer Alvarado, what's the best gear ratio in boosted? It really depends on what you're doing with the car, man. There's not a
it depends on
global
what car,
blanket
depends on
statement.
what kind of car, what transmission, what boost,
Yeah. Christian Hansen, what's up, guys? What's your experience with oil temps on the Coyote? What would you say is a good add-on for the Gen 1 302 oil cooler, or rather take a air oil cooler stock Coyote Gen 1 with VMP Gen 2R, so I don't have any real experience
don't.
monitoring oil temp on a Coyote.
I don't.
I strictly handle engine tuning. I don't really concern myself with oil temp for the brief dyno pulls that I do. The guys that focus on oil temp seem to be the guys going around tracks at a fast rate of speed.
Yeah.
And most of the guys I look at logs a lot for are from 0 feet to 1,320 feet.
Yeah.
And that's probably 90% of my consumer base that I deal with. Travis Schott.
I see the video now. Matt gets a haircut while doing a massive burnout. The results are shocking. Yeah.
Lazaro.
I wonder how many amps a set of clippers pull. I wonder if just a regular power inverter.
At startup, they pull a lot.
I wonder if just a power inverter will run them.
Probably.
Because we need to get power inside a Crown Vic.
Yeah, we can do this. Let's mount a generator to the back bumper. Lazaro Umenzor. 12 GT500 with Gen 2R, can I achieve 750 real horsepower with a 93 plus boosting? And which mods will I need? So a 12 GT500, if you do long tubes, like a 2.4 upper pulley, 10% lower JLT 123 or PMOS 120, or twin jet 67 or twin jet 69. A set of long tubes, I can't remember if I already said that, and an aggressive tune should be able to get you 750 wheel, but emphasis on it has to be aggressive, and I don't know that you really want to get that aggressive on 93 and boosting, but it's possible. It's a lot easier with Gen 3. Dakota Haywood.
Yep.
Hey guys, another question about cams. Shop that's doing it says we should do guides and tensioners. They start to wear out at 50,000 miles. How necessary or true do you guys think that is?
Well, 50,000 miles, it's not like it's an exact thing. Whether or not the wear strips wear is very dependent on your overall maintenance. Keep your oil changed. I've pulled guides out of engines at 100,000 miles and they look brand new. Mm-hmm. I've pulled guides out of engines at 30,000 miles that were tore up.
Yeah.
That being said, there is that whole, which is pretty much the motto of my life, which is might as well.
Yep.
You're going to be in there, you're going to have the cover off, you might as well replace them because they're right there and the labor is free. They're coming off anyway. So it's no extra labor to install new ones.
Yeah, you'll be out extra money buying the new guides and stuff. Is it a bad idea? No. Do you have to do it? Not really. I'd take a look at the condition of the guides that are in there when you pull it apart and then make the determination at that point as to whether or not you want to replace them or if they look good enough for you. And if they look good enough for you, right out, man. A lot of the stuff we do here with oil pump gears and crank sprockets, they don't bother getting new guides or anything like that. We just put this stuff back together, and as long as it looks good, we ride out.
And it depends on you. If you know that if you're a savage and you know you're going to blow this thing up within a year, then there's no point in putting new guides in it. If you're super paranoid and you absolutely, this thing has to last you for 100,000 miles, it might not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So
your boy's in here. You got
I know, looking on Dalton, Samuel, Christopher Wade. Better question is how long before he sells the race car because of the boat? Ooh. The race car is going next year approximately. I'm not probably next year. I think we'll be done with it. We'll see.
We're sailing that ship.
Eventually, the race car is about run its course anyway because, as you know, my true passion in life is my 65. So my 65 will start getting worked on here soon.
Remember Randy Savage in the first Spider-Man movie where he's like, "You ain't going nowhere."
Yeah.
That's what I immediately when I.
So eventually the race car is going to go for sure because I'm going to start putting my 65 fastback together. It's waited long enough. I got sidetracked with the race car, and
now it's time.
Now it's time to focus on what I really want, and that's my 65 back. So.
We have Russell Ruiz. Hey guys, love your products, love the videos. To assist us DIYs or do-it-yourselfers, 2018 intake and harness swap on my 15 GT Premium. I believe we already have a video on that. I don't know if that's what you were asking or you were just saying you were doing, but if you were asking, I believe we have a video on that. Janssen 50. What PIDs can I log to see if my 680 is on the way out?
Slip.
Yeah. don't know. You can
I don't know if there's anything that'll just tell you yes or no.
you can disable adaptives in the trans and tell if it's in a bad way.
Yeah. To answer your question, there's not a direct PID that can really tell you. You can look
The
at.
flag for trans is fucked.
Yeah. It goes from a 0 to a 1.
Yeah. To
to
Matt's answer there, where I think he's going, there's not really a direct PID you can look at that says this transmission's bad. It's kind of like a culmination of looking at certain circumstances in a few different PIDs at the same time that you can be like, hey, this isn't really doing what I'm commanding, and I'm doing what normally works.
And I don't remember, but there's like a commanded shift time versus actual shift time. You can compare it to things like that, and if you see that it's struggling,
yeah,
just build it. Send it to Brett and build it.
Yeah. we got that one's tricky. IVS Sassacre Aftermath. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Stupid question. How much does temps and humidity play effect? And as far as times go, it makes a huge difference, correct? So the humidity, the elevation, the temp, all that stuff plays an effect on how fast a car will go and how much power it's actually making.
The car is only good as the air that you feed it.
Yeah.
If
so your engine's a giant air pump.
Cold, dense air, it's going to be happy. You feed it extremely hot, muggy air, it's going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
This is coming from the guy that knows nothing. When we have cold weather in Florida, we call it boost weather.
Yep, we have boost weather here in Florida. When it finally
the air
cools
density
off,
comes up.
Right now is not boost weather.
No.
Right now it's 80 with a heat index of 110.
Exactly.
I have a knife to get out of my front door to cut.
Yeah, you have to cut the humidity before you can
So
swim to your car.
The most dumbed down way I can think of explaining it is your engine is an air pump. It moves air in and it moves air out. In addition to moving air out, fuel is injected in and now it's moving exhaust out. The easier your air can ingest, or the easier your engine can ingest air, the more power it will make. And the more air that is in the charge that's ingested in the engine and the less water that's in the air, the more your engine will do with that. Induction addiction. What's faster, an 04 Cobra or an 04 440A
Stock
Roush?
for stock?
I'm going with the Roush because it's solid axle and lighter.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Roush, stock for stock.
Mm-hmm.
I think
a modded
the Roush.
Cobra will walk all over a 440A Roush.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Du Bois. There any situations you would recommend a Gen 3 over a Gen 3R? Yeah.
I'd say probably just if you have a bone stock car, you want to put this thing on and make 8 PSI or 10 PSI and you want to leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a Gen 3 situation.
Yeah, and it depends on whether or not we're talking about GT or GT500 too.
There is that as well, yeah.
Because the GT500, even at lower boost levels, is moving significantly more air than a 5-liter is. And
yeah.
like Gen 3R on GT500 is just a good idea in general. And I guess if you're in the situation of you only ever want to buy one blower for the car and you're looking for our latest and greatest, then Gen 3R is the way to go. If you have a set horsepower goal and Gen 3 gets you to that goal and it fits the bill and it's cheaper, then I'd go that way. But I'd say circumstantially, it ultimately depends on what you want to do with the car and what most easily meets your goals. John J. Verrett, race cars better than boats or greater than boats. I learned this the hard way.
I feel, yes.
I feel like there's a lot of people that have different experiences with boats.
Yeah, we had this discussion.
Yes.
At the Well, we talked about that too. I feel I talked to Mike about that, and I don't know. I'm new to the game, but I talked to Mike about it, and we're both under the agreement that most people that have issues with boats are because they bought a really cheap piece of shit to begin with, and it was always broken, and they hated it. So I'm going on a limb here, and I'm hoping that because I'm buying a nicer boat, I don't have anything to worry about.
And that's not to say that a boat does not consume a lot of fuel per the
they
amount
do,
of use you get
but
out
it's
of
not
it.
any better than a race car. So.
Yeah.
Were you just is there like an altar under the desk? Did you just channel Mike and his voice just came out of your
Yeah.
mouth? It sounded just like him.
I know.
Mike just came back to consciousness.
Yeah.
So.
His beard into his
So, at the end of the day, I agree with you. I would rather race car than boat, but the family would not rather race car than boat. So
It's easier to take the family boating than it is to take
Yes.
the family race carring.
yes. So they've had 15 years of race cars shoved down their throat. They're tired of it. So it's something that we can do different.
And it's something you all can do at the same time together.
We can all do it different. Yeah, it's basically
It's a
race
shared
carring is
experience.
we all go to the track and they watch me race.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And they sit out in the sun and they bake and
Right. They're
Get
not
hot
old
and
enough to
meet
drive.
sweats.
They're not old enough to drive yet. Will we circle back around? Will Aiden race? I'm sure of it.
Mhm.
I'm sure we will be circling back around. I am positive that Aiden will have his own race car.
Mhm.
But no, I'm not gonna do the junior dragster thing. We'll just go straight to the real stuff. But for now, I'm gonna do the boat thing. We'll see how it goes.
hell yeah.
I
Have some
did
fun
enough-
in the meantime.
I did enough research. I'm pretty confident in what I'm picking up, and that if I don't like it, I can dump it with minimal losses. So be it.
It's a way to do it. Russell Ruiz. Oh no, I was just saying thanks for the video and thanks for making a kick-ass product.
Excellent.
10-4. We appreciate it, man. We're glad you enjoy the videos and all that stuff.
Charged Roush. Odin kit installed and oil pump gears and crank gear. How much monies? Call and talk to Paul.
About a grip. Yeah, call and talk to the sales guys. They
Yeah,
can
just
get
talk
you
to
an installed quote with all the stuff that you want, any little add-ons or anything you want to do. And
Charged Roush. By the way, if you call and you talk to Paul and you tell him can't hide it sent you, they'll give you a discount.
God damn it. And with
I'm just
that,
messing with Paul.
we are out of here. We appreciate you guys watching. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if you want a notification next time we do the show, which will be next Tuesday. And you'll also get a notification on Thursday when
Unless
we
I
do
drowned.
Burnout Box. Yeah, unless he drowns, and then
Unless I
it'll just be me. But yeah, I guess.
That escalated.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah.
It's just Joe Solo.
I already told you. Already know how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die on that manta ray thing, the flying tube where you get.
Yep.
That's how we're all.
Matt wants to go kite tubing, so he's
Which
gonna
apparently
die.
is illegal in the United States,
Yeah,
but
bro, it's been outlawed at least.
you can still buy them though. I'm just saying. I'm just saying you can still buy them.
You can still buy tobacco pipes.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Well, at least we know how I'm gonna die.
And with that, we're out of here. Have a
See ya.
good day, guys.